Oh my, this is some serious stuff here. Apparently, Paramount might get sold off to someone. I'm wanting to talk about that in this video. Yes, I'm wanting to talk about that in this video. Because Hollywood in general has been struggling and all that, and I kind of want to talk about this. But before I do that, remember guys, to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you guys are notified for future videos. Also, you guys can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. There I will be posting stuff on there. I've already posted some stuff about, movies I've reviewed. Like, I posted something there and all that, so you guys can go to Instagram and all that. But I'm wanting to go to, Twitter and all that too, because I'm wanting to spread some of my stuff out a little bit, in case one platform doesn't work very well. But anywho, let's go ahead and talk about this. So, so Paramount is one of those studios that's actually been around for a long time. It's one of the first Hollywood studios to exist. Now, I'm sure there's some studios older than that. Well, I know Universal technically, it came out the same year as Paramount. It is also a very old studio. People are saying it's the oldest studio. I'm not sure if that's true. Maybe in America, but people have been making movies since the 1800s, so I don't know if that's entirely true or not. But I do know that Universal and Paramount are the same age, just they came out at different times of the month. Kind of like, Warner Brothers and Disney. So, but I've been wanting to talk about this for the last week, because I've been reading some articles on that. Usually I try to wait and all that until because I don't want to just make a video on one article. I want to make sure it's true. But a lot of people have been talking about this, and that Paramount could get sold off to someone else, or they may not sell off at all. So Now I gotta tell you guys, I grew up with Paramount. Now I've watched other studios, I've watched Boomerang, and I watched Cartoon Network, and I've watched Playhouse Disney and all that. I've watched some Disney films and Pixar when I grew up too, but I mainly was a Paramount person growing up. I watched a lot of Paramount. I watched Nickelodeon, and I also watched Nick Jr. and stuff too, and all that, well, Nick Jr. / Noggin, because they had two different names and all that. And I also watched some Comedy Central shows too. I watched this show called Drawn Together, and I watched South Park and stuff. Well, I didn't watch a lot of South Park. I actually only watched episodes here and there, but never went sat down and watched the entire show. But my point is I watched a lot of Paramount stuff growing up. I even have some DVDs with Paramount, because Paramount did this cool thing back. I'm not sure if they still do this or not, but back in the early 2000s, they would have a little DVD logo that would play and all that. If you put it in a DVD, it would show a cool DVD going around the Paramount circle, which is the stars. It's really cool. I really like that. That was a cool thing they did back in the day, and all that stuff. But I don't know if they still do it anymore, because I actually don't have a lot of Paramount DVDs from the the mid 2000s, because honestly, that's kind of the time where they've kind of started falling down the hill for me. Like Nickelodeon and all that, they kind of started falling down a little bit, and I just kind of didn't get back to it as much. You know, I mean, I watched the SpongeBob movie, the second one and all that, but I really haven't watched a whole lot of, like, stuff from that time, but I kind of need to do that. I just haven't got around to it. But yeah, Paramount ended up changing their logo. Them and Universal both changed their logo around their 100th anniversary. And I feel like that's kind of a trend they kind of do, like, and Disney did the same thing. Well, Warner Brothers did. I think they swapped it back, which I'm glad, because their new logo kind of sucked. I mean, it looked cool, but I did not like the remix and all that they had and all for their 100th anniversary one. But yeah, that's the thing, that they kind of just you know, basically just like, well, Paramount kind of, you know, was a studio that I definitely watched and all that, but yeah, sadly fell off the grip. That's because they kind of were, I don't know, they kind of were making less and less content as time went on for Nickelodeon. Yeah, Nickelodeon for a while there was heading towards a downfall and all that. Now recently they have added some new shows and all that, but a lot of the shows were like, you know, very a big downfall. I might make my own video talking about this. This is more of a pop culture news thing, but yeah, they kind of went through a downfall. They're still not that great. You know, we got the Dance Strider thing going on and all that, and we got stuff like that, which, I mean, I get why people are mad at Nickelodeon and all that, but I feel like people are just pointing out Nickelodeon doing this stuff when there's been some crap going on behind other kids, you know, networks too and all that. I mean, take Disney Channel, for example. I've heard some stories there about some kids and all that who had issues as they grew up because of, you know, what happened behind the scenes at Disney Channel and all that, and all that. I mean, I haven't technically, I really haven't, I don't know much about that stuff, because I didn't really grow up watching Disney Channel a lot, so I really don't know all the things that went on behind it, because usually people talk about it in their videos, but the Dan Strider thing has been going on for years. It's just now becoming very big, which I'm surprised, because I figured a lot of people already knew about it, but I guess not. But yeah, basically though, they kind of sadly, like I said, Paramount though sadly has been struggling a lot lately. They have well, they don't have a lot of content for one. I mean, they have a lot from Paramount. I mean, I have Paramount Plus myself. The reason why I have it, it's like it's the cheapest of all the streaming services. That's why I have it. It's the cheapest. But the thing is, though, Paramount's been going through this thing where, like, I mean, they have a lot of library of stuff, but they also have, the problem is a lot of their stuff is, like, scattered and all that, too. Like, not everything is on Paramount and all that. They have some stuff on, you know, HBO Max and all that, because Warner Brothers and Paramount are sharing, like, some of this stuff. So I think Paramount's probably making some money off of some of this stuff, but like the Wizard of Oz and all that. I think they are. I don't know if they, because I know Paramount was behind, they have the Paramount logo, but I don't know if they're making money off of that or not. But I do know they're making some money there. They also have South Park on, because HBO Max, you know, aka Max, because it's called Max now, actually has the rights to it and all that. You know, they don't have the rights to the show, but they have the rights to use it. Kind of like Paramount has the rights to stream the older you know, Indiana Jones films. So yeah, they have all of that. But the thing is though is they're having a problem where they're spending all this money on their content, and you know, I feel like that's the problem. Is everyone was trying to get into streaming, trying to be Netflix. And it ended up not working out. They ended up losing a bunch of money. The thing is, though, like I've said in the past, I think they were losing money even when their crap was on Netflix, because Netflix was so cheap. A lot of the shows and movies and all that were not very profitable. That's the problem. Now, some of these, Hollywood actors, they make films, like, they actually have most of the rights to a lot of these films. They just spread them out. So, like, Adam Sandler and Mel Brooks, who are both famous, actors, and all that, they throughout the years, they've spread their work to a bunch of different studios. So they actually, they can make a lot more profit on Netflix because, they actually have more money for it. But the problem is, a lot of these studios, who actually run the films, it's not the people making it, it's more so the studios running it are not making a lot of profit because Netflix was too cheap. Now Netflix is like 20-something bucks. I think the highest it goes is $22 if you want the full deal. But I think the cheapest it is like $15 or something. So it's around HBO Max, price. I mean, you get a lot of stuff on there, but it's still kind of ridiculous how expensive it's gotten. But it makes sense why it's going up. It makes sense. Actually, it doesn't really make sense why everyone kind of went back to this and all that. I mean, it sounded like a good idea, that way it's in one spot, like, each studio has their own spot and all that, but for me, I kind of knew this was gonna be a bad idea from the start, because Paramount was the first one to remove their stuff from Netflix, and they moved to, Hulu and all that. They moved everything to Hulu. Yes, they moved their stuff to Hulu and all that, back when Hulu was, good, before Disney, of course, destroyed it, because, I think Disney's gonna probably merge Hulu with Disney Plus. I already see that happening, because, Hulu doesn't really have anything, like, that makes it Hulu anymore, but that's a story, for another day, if I ever do one, because I don't know if I want to talk about Hulu much anymore, because I kind of said everything I want to say about it, but who knows, I might have some more videos I could talk about down the road with it, but yeah, I don't know, but that's the thing, though, basically, though, Paramount, started, they started, like, taking their stuff off of Netflix and all that, and they had their own channels, but I'm like, I thought that was kind of stupid, though, because I'm like, why have your own channels when you're basically paying for that when you can just go to cable or something, Like, I mean, why, because that's what Disney's doing right now. Disney's basically doing what Paramount was doing. Paramount and Warner Brothers, they were both, because Warner Brothers was doing this too. They would, they would, like, have, like, a Boomerang channel and all that, and all that, and, like, Cartoon Network channel, and kind of, like, Paramount would have their own and all that, and what ended up happening is it didn't, it didn't work very well, because, people can't, be paying for multiple things. Even if it's cheap, honestly, trying to own all this stuff, I guarantee it's exhausting for people, because they have to keep track of, all the bills and all that, so if they're trying to, save money and all that, having to go through and figure that all out, it's kind of a hassle. I mean, it might not be too bad. I mean, I don't pay for the bills around here, but I'm sure it's probably pretty complicated at times. But the thing is, though, with, like, Paramount is they also started their studio very late. They were like one of the last ones, I think even the last ones to start their own studio, like their own, like, streaming service of the main ones. They started theirs really late. Well, them and like Warner Brothers both started theirs kind of late. Disney Plus started theirs a little bit earlier, but I can't remember if Peacock was around before that or not. I can't remember. But Peacock is Universal's, streaming service. But the thing is, though, even starting earlier, the problem is you gotta make all that money and all that, and And, the problem is a lot of these streaming services aren't profitable. I think Paramount's problem, too, is their streaming service is kind of cheap, which, I shouldn't complain because, I like, that's why I have it, because it's cheap and all that. But, also, basically, though, the thing is, though, even if it were more expensive, people are probably going to drop some of this stuff. I think that's why a lot of people are dropping, like, Disney Plus and Netflix, because it's getting too expensive. Now, Disney now is like, I think they're over $10, now they're like $12, I think. I think that's the most expensive one they are. They're getting more expensive, and I'm sure when they add their channels, like they're talking about doing, they're probably going to even get more expensive. They're probably going to get up there to like probably $15 to like $18.99. It's going to get expensive. It's still cheaper than paying for cable, but at that point you're basically paying for cable again because you won't get access to all this stuff. So, I know I'm kind of going a long ways with this, but that's the thing, that's what I'm trying to say, is all these studios in Hollywood in general have been, struggling for years now. I think it was just harder to tell back then. Heck, I didn't even know it was this bad, but, like, I didn't even know, I knew, like Disney and all that. I saw their downfall for years now. I saw their downfall for years. Because I knew they were getting too big and all that, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of was like, I was kind of wondering, like, if they're gonna buy a studio or something, because they were talking, because I was seeing they were buying up all these companies. I'm like, are they gonna buy out, like, a massive studio, like, and all that? They ended up buying Fox and all that, but I knew they were going to buy a big studio, and all that, and they did, and that really screwed them over. But yeah, that's the thing, though, because, I was thinking Paramount, I was worried they might buy Paramount, because I already know Disney had their downfall and all that. They shut down their animation studio and all that, and they were like, they were buying up stuff and kind of, I don't know, I just saw it coming. It's kind of like that with Cartoon Network too. Cartoon Network is still around, but even then, I saw them kind of, going downhill too. But I never thought all this would get this bad. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't think it was gonna get this bad, but I knew it was gonna get bad, but not like this bad. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. I brought up Cartoon Network so people don't, you guys don't think I'm, just talking about Disney all the time. Because some people get mad about that, and I'm like, I don't just talk about Disney. I talk about other things too. And I said Paramount's one of them. But yeah, Paramount was just, I just had a hard time seeing their downfall. Well, I knew Nickelodeon was at their downfall, but I think what was going to happen is they were probably going to force to fix it or something, and and all that. And they did fix some stuff with Nickelodeon and all. They brought back the Splat logo and all that, but they're still focusing a lot on SpongeBob and all that, and it's been really hard for people and all that, to produce content on there because a lot of it gets gutted. But that's the thing, though, with a lot of studios in Hollywood. They kind of got to the point where they're focusing more on popular stuff, and it's just kind of becoming, it's kind of hurt them in the long run. It just hurt them in the long run. Except Disney. Well, Disney's also doing the same thing with Star Wars and all. They're focusing way too much on Star Wars. For Star Wars Day, they have like 4, I think they had like 4 or 5 Star Wars stuff announced, and all that. They had all that announced. So, they clearly are focusing on a lot about that. But their biggest problem was they got into politics and, were overspending on buying crap like Fox and all that they didn't need. where Paramount and Warner Brothers and all that are like more focusing on, you know, wanting to make profit on you know, new stuff. I mean not new stuff, but like old stuff, you know, that people, you know, grew up with, you know, and that has been milked to death, and that's the problem, you know, like. You know, take that back. I think, yeah, Disney actually has been doing that too with their Fox assets they bought, but that's probably mostly to make up for the money they've lost, which I don't think they're making any of that money back either. But yeah, they have been milking stuff too. But it's just been a running trend and all that. But with Paramount though, yeah, Paramount, which gets to the whole point of them, you know, getting sold off. I don't know if they're going to get sold off or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. Now, the problem is with Paramount getting sold off, though, is it'll be like Disney buying Fox. So if it gets sold off, I guarantee someone will probably overspend on, you know, Paramount. They'll overspend on Paramount, and the problem is they're probably going to gut a lot of crap and all that, you know. I mean, Paramount doesn't have a whole lot, you know, I think in development that I can think of right now that's actually decent, you know, because, I mean, I don't know what exactly is coming out for Paramount. I do know they have an upcoming, like, Imaginary Friend, which it's like the first, honestly, it's like the first Paramount movie I've seen that's an original IP that seems to be getting commercialized. So people are, so at least I think they're starting to try to like focus on newer stuff. But the problem is it took them too long and it's kind of too late. But the thing is though, if they get sold off though, I'm afraid a lot of this stuff might not, you know, end up very well, and you know, the studio that buys them up, or you know, whatever company buys them up, I have a feeling they're probably gonna get, you know, like, I don't know, they're probably gonna, you know, like not be able to focus on, you know, as much content. That's the problem with Disney. When Disney bought out Fox, I was trying to tell people this, but people weren't listening to me, like, that this was a stupid idea, because now that they own Fox, they're not focusing on as much content, because they're too busy focusing on other, like, all this, you know, crap that's airing on Fox, like Family Guy and all that, to do this stuff. I mean, they're still making some original stuff, but not as much as they were before they bought out Fox. And I thought that's what's going to happen if Paramount gets bought out by another company. They're going to be the same way. Someone's going to buy them out, and they're not going to be like poofing out as much content, you know. Now with Disney though buying Fox too is they also gutting a lot of films. I don't know, Paramount might do it with Paramount too, but I don't know. I don't know what exactly is getting released from Paramount. I don't know what they're releasing from Paramount, except, you know, like they have a SpongeBob movie coming up and all that. Which, I don't know, I have a feeling that they'll probably continue the SpongeBob movie because that stuff makes some money, but I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't even know if they're going to get sold off. That's the thing. But there's talk that people are wanting to bid on them too, so there's going to be another bidding war going on. Now, I don't know, again, I don't know who will end up with Paramount, but I just know, like, Universal and Disney were in a bidding war with Fox, and Disney got the upper hand. I mean, I think I'm still thinking, like, I hear people talking about this, and I kind of see it this way, that I think Universal, aka Comcast, because Comcast owns a portion of Hulu. I mean, not Hulu. I mean, Universal. I think they were aware that, you know, like, that Disney would be stupid enough to overpay for crap, so they probably were wanting to bid them out of money. So that's probably what they did. They probably bid them out, because I mean, they even did the same thing with Hulu. So Disney, like, literally lost so much money compared to Hulu, and with Hulu and you know, Fox and all that, and a lot of that crap went, you know, a lot of that crap went to, their competitors. So they literally lost a lot of money and all that, which is really hurting the company. With other stupid decisions they made, like, focusing too much on politics and all that, and trying to make their company, change their company up for the worst by censoring it and all that for dumb reasons. I have a feeling someone may overspend on Paramount too. And Paramount, unlike Fox, Paramount doesn't have, they have some stuff, but they don't have a whole lot that I can think of, with them. And I could be wrong. Paramount could have a lot more to offer than I thought, but consider I have Paramount Plus and all that, they don't really seem to have a lot to offer. They have a lot of Nickelodeon's library and all that. And I talked about it in the past, but since I did that video, they've actually taken a lot of stuff off of there, which is why I'm kind of saying that, because in the past I've said that Paramount does have a lot to offer. It's just a lot harder to find it, but Paramount's been taking their stuff off of the platform recently, so I don't think they have a lot to offer anymore. Heck, they don't even have. I don't think they have the SpongeBob movie on there anymore, because I saw it on HBO Max. It's literally on HBO Max now. You can literally go on there and watch it. I think Paramount. Now, I don't know if they're getting sold off or not, but I can say I think Paramount's definitely gonna probably end up shutting their streaming platform down in the future. Which I think they should, because I think they definitely should shut down their platform, because they're clearly losing more money on it. And a lot of their shows are going to like Netflix and all that. They're going to Netflix. So they're going to Netflix and all that. And I was thinking Netflix could probably be in the bidding war if they do that, but I don't know. Because I don't think they're in a bidding war yet, because they fired their CEO. Yeah, they actually fired him. They fired their CEO and all that, and they're basically, I think that what they're going to try to do, they're going to try to hire a different CEO to take that CEO's place and see if they can turn things around. If not, they may end up selling it off. Because I would hate for it to get shut down. I really would. I'd rather it get sold off to another company. I can say the same thing about Disney. The problem is, I think like Disney, the problem is with them, though, is they're way too big, and they'll be a lot harder to be sold off. But I don't know. The thing is, people were saying for a long time that Apple would buy Disney, but Apple hasn't bought Disney yet, and I don't know if they're going to, but they need to do something, though, because they're also going downhill. But I don't know. Like I've said too with Paramount, I think they're realizing some of their mistakes. 'Cause I noticed they're starting to promote their original stuff a bit more. It's still not getting promoted as much, but I noticed they're like promoting a lot more of their stuff. Like, I've been hearing them talk more about like Rock, Paper, Scissors, this new Nickelodeon show, and then you got like this Paramount movie with imaginary friends. I've seen so many commercials with that, so I think they're starting to realize that, that they need to make money on newer stuff too. But again, I don't know if it's too late for them or not. But like I've said, I think they're probably going to end up shutting Paramount Plus down probably by the end of this year. They're probably going to shut it down. And I think they're also focusing more on the DVDs, because a lot of their shows have been going to DVD. So, heck, even Warner Brothers is doing the same thing. A lot of their shows are going to DVD. I saw one of the YouTubers I'm subscribed to, Bill Skyping. Bill Skyping talked about how he's about how they're releasing a complete series of Dexter's Laboratory on DVD coming out next month in June. So I don't really know. I don't know what's gonna happen though. Like, that's the thing. A lot of this is kind of, going all over the place, but I do feel like Hollywood is gonna collapse. I think they're gonna collapse. Now, whether if like one studio, exists or not, I don't really know. I don't know where it's gonna go, but I know already Fox is like gone. Well, I mean, Fox still has content on Tubi, but I don't know if they're making as much content as they were. So Fox has pretty much been eliminated. And then I'm thinking probably Warner Brothers could be next. And I don't know if Disney will be or not. Disney's losing a lot of money, but the thing is that's saving them is the parks. They have parks. If they didn't have parks, they would. If they didn't have parks, they would, they'd probably be going downhill too. I don't know, because I mean, even their parks, I hear, are not doing as well as they used to either, because it's getting so complicated to go to the parks. But I do know people are still going to the parks and all that, but that's kind of the reason why I don't want to go, because they're too expensive, they're too crowded, and there's a lot of commotion going there, and they've rethemed so much stuff for stupid reasons, and I'm like, I wanted to go there in the past when I was little to, feel nostalgic, I wanted to go there to have fun, but now it's way too expensive. I just don't even want to go anymore. I really don't. Plus hearing all those stories and all that, people breaking bones and all that, and people peeing over stuff, yeah, I definitely don't want to go there. That's just gross. But I don't really know. We'll have to see what happens to it, Paramount. But I don't know. They may get sold. They may not. I don't know. But if someone does a bidding war on them, they'll probably lose a lot of money, because Paramount probably, just like Fox, they'll overspend on it, and it'll get gobbled up in like Fox. If whatever company buys it out, they'll probably be like Disney, and probably will not focus on as much their new IPs and all that, and it'll be an absolute nightmare. But we'll just have to see. I mean, it could be like a completely different studio that buys them. It may not even be a movie studio. I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comments below. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.